Today we're going to be reading The Little Gingerbread Man. One day the cook went into the kitchen to make some gingerbread. She gathered all the ingredients together, mixed them up, and began to roll out a smooth dough. Then she took the square tins and cut out some square cakes for the little boys, and with some round tins she cut out some round cakes for the little girls. Then she said, "I'm going to make a gingerbread man for little Bobby." So she took a nice round lump of dough for his body, and a smaller lump for his head, which she pulled out a little for the neck. 2 other lumps were stuck on beneath for the legs, and were pulled out into proper shape, with feet and toes all complete, and 2 still smaller pieces were made into arms, with dear little hands and fingers. But the nicest work was done on the gingerbread man's head. The cook also made little ears, and in front, after the nose had been carefully constructed, a beautiful mouth was made out of a big raisin. She made 2 bright little eyes with burnt almonds and caraway seeds. Then the gingerbread man was finished and was ready for baking. He was a very jolly little man. In fact, he looked so clever that the cook was afraid he was plotting some trouble. When the batter was ready for the oven, she put in the square cakes and the round cakes, and then she put in the little gingerbread man in a far back corner where he couldn't get away in a hurry. Then the cook went up to sweep the parlor, and she swept and swept until the clock struck 12. She dropped her broom in a hurry and said, "Oh my, the gingerbread man must have burned by now." So she ran down into the kitchen and opened the oven door. She noticed that the square cakes were all done, nice and hard and brown. The round cakes were all done, nice and hard and brown. And the gingerbread man was all done too, nice and hard and brown. He was standing up in his corner with his little caraway seeds eyes sparkling while he waited for the oven door to be opened. The instant the door was open, with a hop, skip, and a jump, he went right over the square cakes and the round cakes and over the cook's arm. Before she could tell him to stop, he was running across the kitchen floor as fast as his little legs would carry him, towards the back door, which was standing wide open, and he could see the garden path. He said, "Run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man." The old cook turned around as fast as she could, and she saw the old Mouser, the cat, lying right across the doorway, fast asleep in the sun. "Mouser, Mouser," she cried, "stop the gingerbread man. I want him for little Bobby." When the cook first called, Mouser thought it was just someone calling in her dreams, so she rolled over lazily. But the cook called again, "Mouser, Mouser." The old cat sprang up with a jump, but just as she turned around to ask the cook what all the noise was about, the little gingerbread man cleverly jumped under her tail. In an instant he was strolling down the garden walk. Mouser turned in a hurry and ran after him, although she was still too sleepy to know what she was trying to catch. After the cat came the cook, running as fast as she could. Now at the bottom of the walk, lying fast asleep in the sun against the warm stones of the garden wall, was Towser, the dog. And the cook called out, "Towser, Towser, stop the gingerbread man. I want him for little Bobby." When Towser first heard her calling, he thought it was someone speaking in his dreams, and he turned over on his side with another snore. Then the cook called again, "Towser, Towser, stop him, stop him." Then the dog woke up and jumped on his feet to see what it was that he should stop. But just as the dog jumped up, the little gingerbread man, who had been watching for the chance, quietly slipped between his legs and climbed up on top of the stone wall. So Towser saw nothing except the cat running towards him, and behind the cat he saw the cook, who was out of breath. "Run, run, fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man." Towser the dog thought that the cat must have stolen something, and that the cook wanted him to stop it. Now if there was anything that Towser liked, it was chasing the cat. So he jumped up the walk so quickly that the poor cat did not have time to stop herself or to get out of his way. They came together with a great clash, with barking, meowing, howling, scratching, and biting. But the old cook had been running so hard that she was not able to stop herself. and she fell right on top of the mixed-up dog and cat. All three rolled over on the walk in a pile together. The cat scratched at the dog and at the cook. The dog bit at the cat and the cook, and the poor cook was badly beaten on both sides. Meanwhile, the gingerbread man had climbed up on the garden wall. He stood on the top with his hands in his pockets, looking at the ruckus, and laughing till the tears ran down from his little caraway seed eyes. "Run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man." After a little while, the cat managed to pull herself out from under the cook and the dog. She was very badly bruised and went back to the kitchen. She was tired of chasing the gingerbread man. The dog let go of the cook and at last, catching sight of the gingerbread man, made a bolt for the garden wall. The cook picked herself up, and although her face was also badly scratched and her dress was torn, she was determined to catch the gingerbread man, so she followed the dog. When the gingerbread man saw the dog coming, he jumped down on the other side of the wall and began running across the field. Now in the middle of the field was a tree, and at the bottom of the tree was Jocko, the monkey. He was awake, and when he saw the little man running across the field and heard the cook calling, "Jocko, Jocko, stop the gingerbread man," he jumped. But he jumped so fast and so far that he went right over the gingerbread man. He came down on the back of Towser, the dog, who had just climbed over the wall. This surprised Towser, so he turned his head around and bit off the end of the monkey's tail. Jocko quickly jumped off again. Meanwhile, the gingerbread man had got to the bottom of the tree and thought to himself, "Now, I know the dog can't climb a tree, and I don't believe the old cook can climb a tree, and I'm pretty sure a monkey can't climb a tree." So he went up. He did not know that monkeys do climb trees. So he pulled himself up hand over hand until he reached the very top branch. "Climb, climb as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man." But the monkey had jumped onto the lowest branch, and in the instant he was also at the top of the tree. The gingerbread man crawled out to the end of the branch and hung on by one hand, but the monkey swung himself under the branch. Stretching out his long arm, he pulled the gingerbread man in. Then he held him up and looked at him so hungrily that the little raisin mouth began to pucker down at the corners, and the caraway seed eyes filled with tears. Little Bobby had been taking his nap upstairs, and in his dreams it seemed as if he kept hearing people call, "Little Bobby, Little Bobby," until he finally jumped up with a start and ran downstairs. As he came down, he could see through the window the cook, the dog, and the monkey. He could even hear the barking of Towser and the chattering of Jocko. He ran down the walk, climbed over the wall, and in a few seconds arrived under the tree, just as Jocko was holding up the poor little gingerbread man. "Drop it, Jocko," cried Bobby. So Jocko did. He always obeyed Bobby. He dropped it so straight that the gingerbread man fell right into Bobby's hands. Then Bobby held the gingerbread man up and looked at him, and his little raisin mouth puckered down lower than ever, and his tears ran right out of the caraway seed eyes. But Bobby was too hungry to mind the gingerbread man's tears, and he gave one big bite and swallowed down both the legs and a piece of the body. "Oh," cried the gingerbread man, "I'm 1/3 gone." Bobby gave a second bite and swallowed the rest of the body and the arms. "Oh," cried the gingerbread man, "I'm 2/3 gone." Bobby gave a third bite and gulped down the head. "Oh," cried the gingerbread man, "I'm all gone." Now we have a few questions that we would like you to answer in the comment section, so I'm going to read them to you. Now if you need help with these, you can always go back and read the story again to help refresh your memory. So, number 1, which one of these characters is not a part of the story? Is it Towser the dog, Mouser the cat, Sam the toucan, or the old cook? Number 2, what was the monkey's name? Jocko, Jack, Riley, or Alf? Number 3, what was the name of the little boy? Now these last 2 questions are your opinion, so there's no right or wrong answer. Just tell what you think about these. Number 4, how did the ending of the story make you feel? And number 5, would you recommend this book to other people? That's it for now. Thank you for watching.